Here we go for today's number. It's 8/2/2022, also known as August 2, 2022. Ten balls. Each ball has a number. Numbers 1 through 10. Swirl the numbers. Pick a number. Today's number is... What's today's number? Today's number is 10. We're going with 10 again. I'm gonna go with 10 again. I think it just skipped it anyway.
Ladies and gentlemen, today's number, I messed up. I thought I hit the button for record, but I didn't. So I drew the number and realized later that it wasn't recorded. I was going to do it again and get a new number, or possibly the same number, but that wouldn't be correct. The number I really drew today, August 2nd, 2022, was a 3. So today's number is a 3. Thank you very much.
Huh. Interesting. The number, something happened with a button. Now there is a weather report.
Good morning. It's August 2, 2022, and it's a Tuesday. Here in LA, a sunny morning, very still right now, 66 degrees Fahrenheit, around 19 Celsius. Today, once again, I was thinking about Elvis Presley and his first hit record, That's All Right Mama, from the year 1954. This afternoon it'll be going up to 84 degrees Fahrenheit. That's about 29 Celsius. And any clouds should burn away by mid-morning. After that, beautiful blue skies and golden sunshine all along the way. Everyone, have a great day.
So there was change. What ended up happening was something happened with a button.
Super underrated.
Looks like
Honestly,
an upload issue. So today's number was 3, but there was no physical drawing of it. So it was almost kind of like a weather report, but he was wearing the George hat, some kind of hat that looked like the Curious George, the monkey. He has a hat, the man in yellow. Regardless, something happened. He must have erased it and hit the button and did not draw it again. So he only does it once, but he did do the report. So thought that was interesting. Today also, according to how things usually would go, would be August 2, 2022. But in the today's number report, or today's number is, he said August 2nd. So it's still August 2, 2022, or August 2nd. solemn silence on a dull, dark dock in a pestilential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of a short, sharp shock from a cheap and chippy chopper on a big black block. Susie sells seashells by the seashore. Big black bug bit a big black bear, and the big black bear bled blood. A big brown bug bit a big black bear, and the big brown bug. A big brown bug bit a big black bear, and the big brown bug bled blood. The big brown bug bit a big black bear, and the big black bear bled blood. Okay. Looks like I added some things to Vlogger versus Vlogger, which is also known as the travel vlogger and the movie star hitman. And I'm getting kind of a little bit of Mel Brooks kind of thing out of it. Now, High Anxiety has always been a really good movie that I like to watch. Mel Brooks' career spans over 70 decades. He also was the main reason why David Lynch is in the position that David Lynch is in, meaning if it wasn't for Mel Brooks, David Lynch wouldn't have been able to do anything. So Mel Brooks is interesting. He did discover Marcel Marceau in Hollywood. Well, not in Hollywood, but he discovered Marcel Marceau and used him for the silent movie. I was looking at some of his career last night. Mel Brooks also joined the military and was also in World War II. And he helped remove landmines in Nazi Germany. So he's quite the trooper. And he's older. He's still around. He's like in his 90s. David Lynch wished him a happy birthday not very long ago, and that was the reason why, is because he knew him. What the story is Mel Brooks actually went to the opening of Eraserhead. He actually went to it to see it, and then he went over to David Lynch and kissed him on the cheek and said, "You're a nut. We love you," and gave him an assignment to do The Elephant Man. So David Lynch eventually did The Elephant Man. And anyway, I thought that was interesting, that a lot of the stuff kind of sounds a little bit like a Mel Brooks movie, and a little bit of Harmony Korine in a way, because Harmony Korine does a little bit of comedy kind of thing, like Mr. Lonely and stuff. Movie star Joe a Vlogger is the movie star's channel name. It's the name he uses for his social media site. And he's an old, washed-up movie star that nobody really pays a lot of attention to him anymore, but at these Comic-Cons and stuff. He still works, but they don't really swarm him anymore, and he doesn't have the star power that he used to have or whatever. Done a lot of joke films, and most of his career has been that way. And the travel vlogger is fascinated with him and wants to get, like a little interview while he can, and doesn't know anything about him actually being a hitman. So he decides to do an interview with him at like a Starbucks and get some weird kind of vibes from the interview. I didn't really put that down in the notes, but there was some weird vibes coming off of him. And he had just been offered an assignment by a guy named Little Joe, which is connected to the mafia. And he offers him an assignment to do a hit at the top of this really large hotel. Now, there's a certain hotel that I've seen in Comic-Con vlogging that I thought would be cool. Very high anxiety Mel Brooks style hotel that has glass elevators. And it has been used in Comic-Cons several times. I've seen it. Somewhere in the South, I want to say. But it's a cool hotel. I believe it does have glass elevators. And I do believe that it does have a huge atrium. I'd have to look at it. But that was kind of what I'm thinking about when I'm writing the notes. And also you got to realize too that this is a brand new idea. So I've been doing a lot of writing. And I've went ahead and wrote down Joe a Vlogger, or the movie star Joe a Vlogger's career. He's also known as Joe Angelino, or Joseph L. Angelino. And he does have a lengthy career. And I put in all the movies in there that he had been in. Now all those are fake movies that, I'm using just for the movies inside of a movie. They're not real movies, or they're not real movie titles. if I decide to ever show any of his movies, it would be interesting because they could maybe be showing them at the Comic-Con. So it's a movie inside of a movie at times. Also, I decided it would be cool to have a Millennium Falcon, replica of the Millennium Falcon somewhere in the event. And they set it up kind of like Galaxy's Edge, how they do in Walt Disney World. So it's like heavy Star Wars, okay? The Comic-Con event. Lots of Star Wars. So they bring in this replica of the Millennium Falcon, and they put it like in the base of the atrium. They reconstruct it. So you go inside it. It looks just like the Millennium Falcon. Everyone's walking around like Darth Vader, Han Solo, Yoda. They're all dressed up like their favorite Star Wars characters. Now, they don't all have to be Star Wars characters. They can be different Comic-Con characters and things like that. I think it's cool also because the two characters who are spy versus spy kind of thing. You ever seen the comic strip, Spy versus Spy? One spy going after the other spy. That's going to be between the travel vlogger and Joe Angelino, or as you can call him, movie star Joe, a vlogger. Now, he kind of is a little embarrassing at the beginning because he's telling all these jokes. He's, ha, 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 I'm movie star Joe, a vlogger. Joe, like, joke, without the K. Get it, ma'am? Hey, I'm choking here, I'm choking here. Hey. He's that kind of guy. And he's got a clown nose and all this stuff, and everyone's like, what the world is this? And he's kind of loud and obnoxious, and everyone's just like, they don't even recognize him. You know, they don't even recognize him as the movie star that he once was. He's just trying to get a lot of attention off his channel, and the vloggers are like, man, just calm down. Anyway, those are kind of some notes. What's interesting about Joe, a vlogger, is yes, he is loud and obnoxious when he's doing his channel. But when you really get to meet him and you really know him, he's very confined and soft-spoken, okay? So he's not a loud, annoying type of clown character, but he plays that for the channel, for the social media channel that he's sponsoring or that he's a part of. So you get to know him, and he's quite creepy as a hitman, because and secretly he's actually a hitman. But it's very real controlled kind of way. That's creepy. Anyway, travel vlogger is just kind of like a normal guy. You know, he's just a normal cat. You know, this guy that likes to travel vlog. Think of like, you know, like Jordan the Lion. You know, Jordan the Lion's not exactly normal, but, you know, kind of, you know, nothing really abnormal, just kind of him just being a travel vlogger. And he just goes to this Comic-Con and he scores an interview with this guy. So later on, you'll get into the story in more detail, because he does have to run from Joe Angelino, or movie star Joe, a vlogger. And they both vlog, but the hitman doesn't really know exactly how to. Now, the hitman is very technically advanced. So he's a computer hacker, really good one. And the first thing he does, once he realizes that the travel vlogger, you know, gets a photo or some video of him, is he disables the camera of the travel vlogger from uploading from any device, like a Wi-Fi device. He also knocks out all the Wi-Fi in the hotel. And he starts to survey this travel vlogger. Now, if he gets a hold of Little Joe can get his guys in, and now the guy's really running. It turns into like The Firm with Tom Cruise. You know, The Collateral is also a really good comparison with Tom Cruise, too. Two Tom Cruise movies of comparison. Another comparison would be Blowout, too. Blowout's a good one with John Travolta. There's all these little comparisons to other movies and stuff like that. But anyway, he knows how to get in touch with his camera, you know, through his little computer that he carries around in a briefcase. He also does something physically to, you know, it's all physical, but to disrupt travel vloggers' possible footage. And he cuts the Wi-Fi cords and like the Starbucks and different areas of the hotel that he knows where Wi-Fi is coming out of. Now, there's a thunderstorm, very, very heavy thunderstorm that's going on during all this. So, you know, the travel vlogger probably most likely would stay inside the hotel because the travel vlogger has a phobia of rain. So it's got a little bit of high anxiety in there, but the travel vlogger secretly is afraid of the rain. Very, very afraid of the rain. So he doesn't go out in the thunderstorm. He stays in the hotel during that. It takes place over 48 hours. Now, the cocktail waitress, which is connected, you know, the restaurant's connected to the hotel, he meets her to kind of, in a way, team up against the movie star Joe, a vlogger, the hitman, also known as Joe Angelino. And he meets the cocktail waitress. Right now, she's just called the cocktail waitress. But he meets her, and she's allergic to strawberries. Really highly allergic to strawberries. Now, I don't know if Joe Angelino knows this, but eventually he spies on the travel vlogger, because you can get different costumes at the Comic-Con. Like, you can dress up like Darth Vader, and no one would really be able to know who you are. Really good disguise. So he spies on him big time and finds out that the cocktail waitress ends up seeing, or she ends up opening up the camera and looking at the footage of the actual assassin, of the hitman. And the movie star vlogger must knock her off too. Now, she does get knocked off. She gets hooked on like a bridge, like a Brooklyn Bridge kind of thing. It can be a different bridge. It doesn't have to be the Brooklyn Bridge, but it can be a bridge, a high bridge, a bridge way off in the air. And he finally corners her there. Like, somehow she gets cornered there. And he walks up to her. Now, whether this takes place more than 48 hours or not, you can still travel within 48 hours. I did say different cities and stuff like that, but you can get around 48 hours to several different cities. I think it might end up in New York City. But anyway, he corners her, and he says to her, he says, "You like strawberries?" And she's kind of realizing that this is probably the guy, you know. She doesn't know what he looks like. And she knows that would kill her. And he says, "Well, you can take a bite or take a swim." And he says, "Why don't you tell me where he is, the kid with the camera? Go ahead and call him and have him meet me here." I think in the script it's a little bit different, or I wrote it down differently, but have him meet me here. He's talking about the bridge. And instead she takes a bite and then like dies right there on the bridge. Now, she could run, but he could grab her and throw her over. If she tells, then he would go out, because he's in love with the cocktail waitress, the travel vlogger. So that's kind of a moment. And then there's a few moments in there too. There's an interview moment, and there's some other stuff and all kinds of stuff. So it'd be kind of today on August 2nd, 2022. We get ourselves a free double meat Whataburger as long as you purchase French fries and a drink, medium size. Medium size French fry and a medium size drink, and you get yourself a double meat. As long as you have the app. I think you can also do it by email too. You can at least show them the email and they'll get the idea. But this is a Whataburger. Well, as you can see, there's the Whataburger sign there. You can see the other Whataburger sign right there. And we're gonna give it a try. Now, I know that you have to be careful with their French fries because they're vegetable oil. They're baked in vegetable oil, and you got to eat them pretty quick, not too quick, because they can go cold and kind of turn a little cardboardy. These are about right. And they have these little containers. I used to get really mad at fast food places. I don't anymore because I don't eat at them as much as I used to. But anyway, I always felt kind of bad about doing that. Now this is a double meat right here. Well, gotta go.